Welcome back, everyone, to Freaky Tales Friday. Before I introduce my very special guest, I want to thank everybody. Mike, what about it? Okay, I thought we would do mic check, guys. What about now? See? These guys over here.
1 2 1 2.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone, to a Freaky Tales Friday. And I want to thank everybody who tuned in, everybody who liked, comment, subscribed, everybody who's taken the time to be with us today on this horror movie night edition. We like to say that it's like we snuck into the movies to rate these movies, and hopefully you guys have an opportunity to call in and tell us which one was your favorite movie. Today's topic would be vampire movies. And with my special guest, Afro. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, my brother. Thank you for having me yet again. I appreciate it.
Yes, you know what? We had such a great time last time. But before we jump in and start, if you will, going over and reacting to some of these movies, I have you a ginger ale right there, okay? And I have you a cup, okay? I always like to give my guests gifts, especially if we're going to the movies, okay? So with that being said, welcome to Tony's Snack Bar. So with that being said, let me start off with, you cannot enter a movie theater without popcorn. So here's my favorite Oral Redenbacher popcorn. That's for you.
Thank you, my brother.
Okay. And I hope you enjoy those whenever you watch some movies. Okay. And I don't know if you're an airhead type of guy, but every once in a while, I like some airheads.
Thank you, bro.
Okay. And I bought you some ET food. ET food as Reese's Pieces.
Thank you.
So these are really, really good. Okay. I'd rather have Reese's Pieces than M&M's.
We'll leave a trail out the front door just like ET.
Exactly. So and then every once in a while, I like Sour Patch. Every once in a while. Hope you enjoy those.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And you cannot enter a theater without buying some licorice. So once again, enjoy some licorice. That's for you. And you can swallow it all down with this big bottle of Jameson.
Woo!
There it is right there. So,
my brother, thank you so much. I
all
feel
good.
welcome.
All good. So that's how we do it. So if you want to bust it open and mix yourself a drink, go for it. If not, save it till you watch a movie. So did you enjoy yourself last time we were here? We actually spoke on zombie movies, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, dude, I had a blast, man. That was literally like, zombies are my heart. So like ever since I was a kid, so I felt like I was able to really nerd out and like be myself. So
Okay.
I had a blast.
That'll work. Same here. There's a big nerd in me too. So every once in a while, I like to let them come out. So now, today, we're going to be discussing vampire movies. Okay. There was a guy that I was working with, and this is not, it sounds like a joke, but it's really not a joke. There was a guy that I was working with one time, and he went to go see Blade. And he came back because he had a hard accent, a guy from Mexico. And he says, have you seen vampire? And I was like, what? Have you seen vampire? And I was like, I don't even know what that is. And he was like, vampire? And I said, bomb fire? And he goes, no, vampire. That's what he did. I was like, what the hell is that? So, and then I guess the lady working next to him, she said, vampiros. And I go, oh, vampire. And he goes, yeah, vampire. So today, we're going to be talking about vampires. Okay?
Nice.
So I actually gave you the list of how we're going to go in order, but I'm just going to call it out. And the very first movie, and this is not in no particular order, he actually picked 5 movies. I picked 4. I should have picked another one, but we're going to go through at least 9 movies. And at the very end of this discussion, or conversation, I should say, we want you guys to call in and let us know which one was your favorite, even if we didn't even touch on it. So one thing, though, I'm actually very surprised that Bela Lugosi is not in our list, but he was in our list last time.
Yeah, for White Zombie.
For White Zombie. Okay. So much love and respect to Bella.
Right, salute.
Yes. So the first one we're going to talk about is actually, honestly, one of my favorites. So let's put that on the screen, and that is Dusk Till Dawn.
Nice, nice.
So go ahead and let us know why that is one of your favorite vampire movies.
But this one, me personally, but I've always loved From Dusk Till Dawn, mainly because I grew up as a Robert Rodriguez fan, and I also grew up as a Tarantino fan. So I felt it was the perfect mesh for me, with Tarantino writing the script and Rodriguez doing the direction. And not only that, it's a vampire movie, so I was always a horror movie kid. It was like Dusk Till Dawn was literally a perfect mesh for me. And it gives me a whole bunch of great childhood memories watching it. But as a whole, as a vampire, it's also one of the best vampire movies of all time. It just kicks ass. You know?
It is. You know, one thing that a lot of girls liked about that movie, and then I'll tell you what a lot of guys liked about that movie. One thing they liked George Clooney, not only his acting, him being a tough male in this movie, but his tat. Girls that like tats really like George Clooney in this movie because he looked like a thugster, you know, a vampire thugster, like, and he had this big old tat. And that actually surprised me that he wore that. Then we have another guy in there. What's his name? Danny Trejo.
Oh yeah, Trejo. Yeah.
He's in there, and you cannot. Oh, Tarantino, obviously he wrote it, but he's a little sneaky guy. Okay, because that guy literally wrote
Did the foot scene?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, he did that. He knew what he was doing writing. He knew what he was doing with Salma Hayek and putting the foot in his mouth. He knew what
he had a foot thing. Can we go ahead and put Salma Hayek on the screen right there? Let's go back and forth between Salma and the poster there. But yeah, Salma Hayek, I think that, in my opinion, is what really brought her to the limelight in this movie, because Quentin knew what he was doing, and I knew he wanted that fat toe in his mouth. So
it's a well-known thing that Tarantino loves his feet. So yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, he has a foot fetish. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like women with pretty feet. Do you have a foot fetish, Afro?
No, me personally, no, I don't.
Okay, all right. My son does it. My brother does. I have like several brothers. Some do, some don't. Some do, some don't. I just think that women ought to have pretty feet. So I guess Quentin Tarantino probably figured she had pretty feet. Let me write that in the script.
And he was saying, who else? Salma Hayek. He was like, it was that was literally. I don't think you can get any better for him in that regards with the foot fetish. That scene was a shining moment. So.
And remember, she actually told him, "You could lick the shit off my ass or whatever with your tongue."
Oh yeah, the shit off my heel or the boot or something like that. Yeah, that was crazy.
But now, what was one thing that stood out for you from that movie? Obviously, other than the vampires, I liked the way she looked at the vampire too. She looked evil, sexy evil, but I mean, I just thought everything about that movie was just dope. Like, I don't know if there was just one thing that I liked other than that one scene, but everything was dope, man.
Yeah, to me, I think the ending is pretty dope because, like, it's pretty fucked up how a majority of the people get killed in the movie. The only people that live are George Clooney and Juliette Lewis. So, like, the finale's pretty fucked up. But at the end, like, to me, the dialogue is just a Tarantino classic dialogue in a vampire movie. So we have that very snappy banter. We have a lot of people, the jokes, the insults, and everything that's really done well. And that. Talking about George Clooney earlier, that is my favorite George Clooney performance ever, is From Dusk Till Dawn.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I mean, he's had some classics. I liked, I think, was it Ocean's 11?
Yeah.
Those are all good. But he does have a lot of good movies, but
definitely.
One is very memorable. Like, I like Quentin Tarantino. The ones that I couldn't get into, to be honest, were the Kill Bill movies.
Okay, I can see why.
You know, but I like all his other work, and there was a lot of, I mean, this movie has a lot of great actors, such a great cast, you know, in this movie.
Harvey Keitel playing the preacher dad, like, that's an incredible cast choice right there.
Yeah. You know, and that's one thing that I was hoping to have interviewed Danny Trejo, because I have interviewed him before at an event called To Live and Die in LA, but I wanted to bring him here because there's specific things that I want to ask him about his roles in these movies. And one of them was, does Salma Hayek look that damn good in person? I mean, he was there. So, But yes, other than that, would you recommend Dust Till Dawn if one of our viewers has never seen it?
Oh, 1,000%. I think you're going to have a blast. You'll have a great time. It's kick-ass. The action is fun. Like I said, the dialogue's really fun and really, even if the movie feels a little bit goofy at times, it's still a whole bunch. It's a blast, dude. You'll love it.
Okay, so that was one of Afro's favorites. So mine goes back to, and that was a 1996 movie. 1996. So mine goes back to 1987, and it's movie number 2. You just put that up on the screen, and it's The Lost Boys.
Nice, nice.
The Lost Boys. So let me give you a little bit of background of The Lost Boys.
I believe Joel Schumacher directed that one, right?
I believe so, yes.
I think so, yeah.
It started Corey Haim, I believe that's how you pronounce it.
And Corey Feldman.
And Corey Feldman, Kiefer Sutherland. And I thought back in the day I had the hot for this girl, Jamie Gertz.
Mm-hmm. Jamie Gertz, yep.
Yeah, she was hot, and I really, really like this movie. Now, this movie right here was supposedly based in a city up north called Santa Carla, but really they filmed it in Santa Cruz. Mm. And it's about a family that moves up to Santa Cruz. Once again, it's a fictional city, which is really, Santa Carla, which is a fictional city, but it was really filmed in Santa Cruz. Two brothers discover that after they move in, that this area is a haven for vampires. I love this movie because every time I see this movie, it actually takes me back to the 80s when I saw it at the theaters. You know, for your guys' generation, when I say your guys, talking about the younger generation, like for those of you that are still in their 20s, this was kind of equivalent to what you guys thought of Twilight. You know, even though I'm not a fan of Twilight, but Lost Boys was different. I don't think they even used no CGI or none of that stuff.
I can't remember any CGI or any computer animation in Lost Boys.
Yeah. The movie soundtrack was great. I think the very first if you will, song was People Are Strange, originally by The Doors, Jim Morrison, but it was replayed over by Echo and the Bunnymen. And
the Cry Little Sister. The Cry Little Sister song, I remember that one.
Yeah, but I really, really dug the vampires. Now, can we put the other picture that goes, we can go back and forth. It shows pictures of the vampires. Kiefer Sutherland played a dope vampire as well.
Yeah, I think Kiefer Sutherland is just an awesome actor. He kicks ass as an actor.
Yeah, and so is his dad, even though I think his dad's a little weirdo, Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, he has weird choices too. Like he has some weird movie choices here and there.
Yeah. I thought his weird choice, remember when he came out booty naked in Animal House? Did you watch Animal House?
I remember. That's John Belushi?
John Belushi, yes.
Yeah.
Remember he was smoking with them, and then he gets up and he's got no drawers on. I'm like, dude, like how do you move that comfortable in front of a room full of dudes? I don't know, maybe. But anyways. But yeah, so we got those vampires up on the screen. But I really, really enjoyed that movie. Once again, for me, it's an 80s classic. And it has an actor that is no longer with us, rest in peace, which is Corey Haim.
Yeah, Corey Haim, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Actually, I like Corey Haim, man. Like, honestly, Feldman had some of the bigger choices in his career, like The Goonies, obviously, and Stand By Me. But I like Corey Haim. I felt like he was a bit of an underdog in a way, you know?
Yeah. And, okay, we won't touch on this too much, but Corey Feldman came out after let me put my list right here. After Corey Feldman came out and started talking about Corey Haim, about the whole Hollywood pedophile, he got abused. I don't think did he ever give any specifics, or did he just hint around what happened to Corey Haim?
I know the whole loop. I went down the rabbit hole, bro. Like I know the whole shit. like it's gonna take me a little one by step, but Feldman. If you go on my Frotas Reviews channel, I have some reactions of Corey Feldman, and I think he's a very questionable character. And Feldman's half and half for me. I appreciate what he does as far as like exposing some of the pedophilia in Hollywood. I think that's I think that's the great side of him. But at the same time, he's pretty slimy when you start going more down the rabbit hole. When you start finding out stuff, it's like there's a lot of holes in the Corey Haim story of who he says abused Corey Haim. Like he said, I think it was Charlie Sheen or somebody like did that to Corey Haim. But then you had Corey Haim's mom saying, hey, that wasn't Charlie Sheen. Me and my son were really close. He actually told me who really abused him. And turns out this guy was like working with Feldman sometime even after all this happened. Like they were all friends and shit. So it's just it's super, super weird. But the more you dig into it, the more you start finding out that Feldman isn't really like, in my opinion, really telling it the 100% truth. He's kind of like putting his little holes into his story, you know?
Do you think it's because, okay, you know, a lot of these guys at one point, let's be honest, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman at one point were on top. In the 80s, they were on top. Oh,
yeah, they were stars. They were stars.
Okay, then if you could say that, and I say this respectfully to them because, you know, at one point I was signed as an artist to Disney, and when somebody that's on top falls off, if you will, they try to do whatever they can to try to get back to where they were. Do you think that maybe he might have just twisted shit a little bit so that everybody like, oh, wow, tell us, Corey Feldman's dropping gems?
In my opinion, definitely, because with this, for people that don't know, Feldman made a documentary, and it was called My RAPE, a story of the two Coreys. So he was trying to bring Haim into it. But when you watch the documentary, it almost feels like a smear piece a little bit. Like for Haim, it's kind of weird. Like they were beefing at times, Feldman and Haim. Like strangely enough, if you really look through it, there was a lot of beef going on between, even shortly before Haim passed. So of course I wasn't there 100% of the time, but just looking on the outside perspective, it's very bizarre, and very, very, very bizarre on Feldman's side. And yeah, when you watch the documentary, it's literally like, oh, this happened to Haim, this happened to Haim, but it's like about the two Coreys documentary, but it's 95% Haim. There's only like 5% Feldman where he talks about it, you know. So it's just weird. And this isn't me like trying to smear Feldman either, but just as an outside viewer, it's like, dude, like this feels very off. Very off. And like I said, I appreciate that he takes the stand against all the Hollywood messing around with the kids. Like I'm for, like I love the kid. I'm for, like, you know, going against Hollywood. Yeah, for that shit. Like as much as I love movies, I'm like a soldier on the forefront to protect the kids for that, you know.
Absolutely.
So watching it for Feldman, it's just bizarre.
Yeah, really, and I think now he's got like a band or he's playing or something.
If you go on my Casper knows all about it right here. Shout out, what up, it's Casper right here. That's my brother. So we even have one or two reactions where we're reacting to Corey Feldman videos. And he has a band with the Angels, and it's the most awful shit you'll ever see in your life. Like, no question. Like, he pretends to be Michael Jackson. It's fucking insane, dude. You got to watch Corey Feldman live performance.
Do you think that guy now has, is it safe to say that he may have some screws loose?
That's where it's a little hard for me to pinpoint on Corey, because I feel half and half. I feel like I can see that for sure on Corey, but I've also thought, like, is he a troll? Is he a master troll? Is he doing this for, like, to get himself more out there on that side? On that side, but I've also thought, yeah, he's a psychopath. So I see both sides.
Yeah. Here's another movie that he was in. We're talking about Corey Feldman that I really, really liked. In my opinion, it's underrated. When I mentioned it, not too many people. Yeah, I think I might have saw it, but The Burbs.
I love The Burbs. Tom Hanks. Yeah,
I love The Burbs.
Yeah, the movie's awesome.
Yeah, if you guys haven't watched it, check out The Burbs. Tom Hanks, Corey Feldman. It's really, really dope. I remember. Give a shout out to me and my boy Angel. Me and him went to the movie theaters. We had, we snuck in whatever we could and ate, and we watched it. Really enjoy it. Dope Halloween movie. But once again, one of my favorites, Lost Boys. One of his favorites, Dusk Till Dawn. So now we go back to him. Movie number 3. Let's put that up on the screen. That is 30 Days of Night, 2007.
I love this fucking movie. This movie's awesome.
Yes. Okay. Break it down. What is this movie about?
So this one is like, I remember Josh Hartnett is like either this cop of this like small Alaskan town, and the movie plays on Alaska, like the 30 Days of Night, where like the sunlight blocks out, and that's where these vampires come around. I can't exactly remember the origin of the vampires in the film, but I know that when they pop up, they're really brutal. They start fucking up the whole town. The whole town's getting massacred right off the bat. There's even scenes of like people hiding up in the attic, and it's a really creepy feeling. Like the vampires are very smart, and And yeah, it's a mean, cold movie too. When you watch, it's brutal film.
Yes, you know what? I'm trying to look for my notes on this one because I could have swore I had notes. I took some notes on this one, but for some reason they're not coming up. But I hope they didn't freaking erase because I had some stuff that I wanted to touch on that one because I really, really enjoy that movie.
Yeah, movie's sick.
I mean, and the vampires are so dope, man. Can we bring up that one vampire's face? He has like black eyes.
The main guy.
The main guy.
Yeah.
I don't really remember his name or what his name was.
The actor's name is Danny Huston, but I can't remember the character's name. I think it's like Valak or something. Maybe not Valak, but the cool thing that I liked about the movie was the vampires have an original language. And if you read the trivia, a linguistics professor helped like create the language for the vampires in this film, which is pretty strange, but pretty kind of cool at the same time.
Yes.
So it's like a totally original language.
Yeah, because isn't it something like some crazy ass language, and it's crazy that they're able to communicate because that's the first time, at least that I can recall, unless somebody on the live chat can correct me, that I ever heard these vampires talk to each other. You know, I thought that was actually pretty cool because when you look at certain zombie movies, they never really communicate. They're just all like hurting and going into one place, following each other. But here, they're actually communicating. I really, really enjoy this. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to ask you this because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, in Alaska, it does go on this long in the dark, correct?
Yeah, for like about like 30 days or so, yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you this. I like nighttime, especially the season that we're entering around Halloween, okay? But I could not go to Alaska or anywhere where it was dark for 30 days.
Oh, no, I couldn't do it.
No, same here.
No.
You know, and I think early in this movie, not to spoil so much, they're trying to get out of town, head out, and something happens, correct? Like, why he wasn't able to make it, or the woman wasn't able to. I think it was like an ex-girlfriend or some sort. I don't know if you remember. They were trying to get out of town, like, okay, I'm out of here. My time's up. We're going to catch the flight, and they weren't able to make it.
Yeah.
So, but
I remember too. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was the ex-wife or ex-girlfriend or something. But let us know in the comments. I'm trying to remember too.
Yeah. So, but when they catch that one guy and they hold him in, that one guy's pretty much saying, "They're coming for you. They're coming. They're coming." So he knew that these vampires were coming.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where it all starts. If you ask me, what I recommend is, yes, I do recommend it. I bought the Blu-ray. One of my favorite films as well, vampire films. I love vampire films, and this is actually up there with them. You know, and it doesn't take place like the old, you know, Transylvania, which is cool. You know, this actually takes place in the snow.
Yeah, in the winter. Yeah, winter time. Yep.
Yeah, and these guys have like amazing superpowers. You know,
they're very strong. Like the one scene is crazy where the lead vampire that we were talking about earlier, he punches like, or a Josh Hartnett, the main guy punches his fucking fist through like the back. I mean, through the mouth and out the back of the vampire's head. Like the main guy, his final kill is awesome. Like it's sick. Yeah.
Now, here's my thing. I'm gonna ask you this, April. Could you, if they're gonna do I think they did a part 2 to that. Did they?
Actually, you're right. They did like a straight to DVD part 2.
Yeah.
I never saw it. I think it's called like Dark Days or something like
that.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Now let me ask you: could you play a vampire?
I would love to. Yeah,
really.
I would love to. And like one of these, like these brutal vampires, not like a Twilight kind of vampire. Or, you know, I want some brutal kills. Like I want to be a brutal vampire.
Did you get a chance to watch? Did you ever take the time, I should ask, to watch Twilight?
I've seen, let's see, I think there's like 4 or 5 of these fucking movies. So I saw about the first 2 just out of curiosity, and they definitely sucked. I wasn't a big fan of them, but I'm open-minded. I'm like, hey, if it's a good film, it's a good film, you know, like any genre. So when I gave it a chance, I was like, definitely not for me. I thought it sucked.
Who do you think it was made for? Because it was such a big hit.
No, teen girls for sure, like teenagers. Yeah, teenagers for sure.
Okay, all right. So 30 days, 30 nights. Look, I would even recommend that you watch this one after the show tonight.
Oh, yeah, dude. This movie, 30 Days of Night, heavily 1,000% check it out.
Absolutely. Okay, so now we're going to go back to one of mine and one of my all-time favorite 1979 Salem's Lot. Let's go ahead and put up that poster right there. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about Salem's Lot. This actually is based on a Stephen King's novel, Salem's Lot. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't know that, let me just, here are my note. The character, which is a vampire in this movie, okay? So let's put up that poster, and then we'll switch back and forth with the Salem's Lot vampire. I love this Nosferatu-looking vampire.
Yeah. Sick. This great design on him.
Yes, and my team's over there messing up. They got to put out the right poster. So, all right, the character is a powerful vampire who moves to a main town of Jerusalem's Lot with the intent to form a vampire colony of its residents.
Yeah, and I think he's like in Maine or somewhere like that.
Yes.
Like, Maine is like a common ground for Stephen King. Stephen King uses Maine so many times in his books and films.
Yes. And what a lot of people don't know about Salem is actually short for Jerusalem, and they just cut it in short. They call it Salem's Lot, but it's really Jerusalem's Lot. Okay, but this movie is great. This actually came out in 1985. So at this time, I was born in 68, 78. I was 10. I was probably about 17 years old when this movie came out. Yeah, about 17 years old. And I really, really enjoyed this movie, especially that vampires on the screen. Bald guy, looks kind of bluish in the movie. Nosferatu, he's got the hand. Okay, now I'm going to tell you this. April, I've always said that before I ever retire and hang it up and hang on my cleats and it's a wrap, I need to do a scary movie. I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. This is the kind of vampire that I want to bring back.
Nice.
That kind of,
nice.
But I want to base it in the 80s. I want to base it in the 80s, almost like, kind of like the way they filmed it back then. But
with the grainy feel or with, not the grainy feel, but just that, like the old school vintage feel. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Salem's Lot, but I want to do it here in Los Angeles in the 80s and bring that guy here, okay? I already got the whole script in my head, okay? But one thing about this movie that I really, really loved is that it was just so original. Once again, no CGI. They had less, and they were more creative than I think than today. There's a lot of movies that are just CGI, and they do it all in front of the green screen. And
absolutely. Yep.
Some of it is cool, but I liked that back then we had less and we were able to make classics. Today, not to take anything away from today's actors, today's writers, today's producers, today's directors, but Afro, are they making horror classics today?
Damn, definitely not at this, I wouldn't say not at the speed of how the 70s and 60s and 80s had, because there's classics all through those decades. Over here, it'd be very hard for me to name like at least 10 or 8 classics in the past 10 years or at least like 15 years or so.
Right.
It'd be pretty tough for me to name that. So
there's a scene, and there's a third picture for this with the little boy at the window. Do you remember that scene? As a boy, and I'm just like about 16, 17 years old at the time, and this little boy comes floating. He's a dead, I guess, vampire, and he comes floating. Then you see the clouds coming. You hear the music, and this bastard starts knocking on the window.
Yep, the window.
That scared the hell out of me. I remember when I watched it on TV, because they played it on TV, getting up, running to my room, closing the blinds, putting the curtains up, because I didn't want to see no floating kid knocking on my window. And he was actually talking with his kid voice saying, open the window. Open the window.
I remember that. Yeah, open the window.
Let me in. Let me in. You guys can see it right here. You can see it right there. He was like, let me in, let me in. I'm like, no, don't. Don't. And then one kid actually let him in, and he got bit in the neck.
Yep.
Not going to give away too much, but if you guys want to watch 80s classic, actually year 79. And one of the main actors, or the main actor, was David Soul.
Yeah, David Soul. Yeah, man.
David Soul, many of you guys that are my age would know him from Starsky and Hutch.
I was going to say, yeah, Starsky. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys are familiar with the original 70s show Starsky and Hutch, he's the main actor here. And I guess he's looking to buy a house, if I'm correct.
Yeah. And I think if I remember, Salem's Lot and the 79 one, wasn't it like in 2 parts, like a part 1 and a part 2?
Well, they made it later on, but it was just meant to be one. But they ended up making it later on, and then they ended up doing like a series, which I never really cared because to me, I just wanted to stick because David Soul wasn't in any of the other ones.
Right. It was just that. It was the 79 one, if I'm
correct.
Yeah, 79 joint.
Yeah. So yes, I recommend it. When is the last time you seen this one?
Oh, definitely a while. I would say maybe a good 5+ years or so. But I definitely, the one standout scene for me, I always thought was the window scene. It just always had like this creepy feeling to me when I remember first watching it.
I mean, think about this: who wants to go to bed, and then when you had just happened to look out your window, and here comes this little boy that you know died, and he's coming as a vampire. The clouds are following. He's knocking at your windows, talking about "Let me in." Hell no, I'm not letting you in. Okay, so
you're gonna have to stay outside, homie.
Exactly. Okay, so far we've covered 4 movies. 2 of mine, 2 of his. His was Dusk Till Dawn, 1996. Mine was Lost Boys, 1987. His was 30 Days of Nights, 2007. Mine we just finished, Salem's Lot, 1979. And now we move on to movie number 5, which is John Carpenter's Vampires, 1998. Now, you go and kick that one off because James Woods is one hell of an actor that doesn't get enough credit.
Oh, okay. I would agree, man. Like, and especially James Woods is very versatile. He could do a drama, he could do a horror film, he could be a creep, he can be a funny guy, he could do a lighthearted comedy, and then a serious drama like a John Q or something. But Vampires, that is definitely, I don't know if it's my favorite James Woods performance, but it's definitely one of my favorite. It's like in my top 3 maybe, because James Woods kicks ass in this movie. Like, he literally makes this role, Jack, the Vampire Slayer, he makes this role him. Like, he's 100. I love his performance in this movie.
Now, if somebody were to ask you, okay, you guys, what is this movie about? Can you kind of give us a little bit, and then I'll kind of chime in and let them know what this movie's about?
Yeah, I would say the James Woods plays this lead like vampire guy. He assembles a team. He goes to like wipe out vampires in the town, and then the lead vampire is like this dude with this long black hair, and he's going after the team. The team gets picked off pretty early on in the film, like in the first half. It actually shocked me the first time I saw it. I was like, oh shit, everybody just got murked like pretty damn fast and pretty brutally too. And of course, John Carpenter. The reason why I love him is how brutal his practical effects are. Like when he gets in his R-rated bag with the blood and gore, it's some of the best work ever. And that's another standout for me in Vampires. But it's also very like besides the team and them assembling and the vampire going after them, it's just a really cool like it's an awesome hangout popcorn movie too. It's just yeah.
And now you got popcorn. You can watch it. No, but I'll tell you what. Okay, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to use my old memory. James Woods is not only not only does he come across a vampire, but this is, if I'm correct, the master vampire.
Right. And
that he's coming after. Can we put that? The other vampire
is the dude with the long black. I just remember the long black hair and like the or like the black gear, like the black robe, and then the master vampire is assembling like his own team and stuff as the movie goes on too. I remember.
Yes, that one, and I think James Woods and his team is trying to either find or take away. I believe it's a Catholic relic that, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, that the master vampire is trying to acquire because that would allow them to walk during the day, if I'm correct.
Yeah, to walk during the day, exactly. And then I remember at the end, the guy that we think is like helping out James Wood is something like, I don't know if he's the archbishop or something like that, but he turns out to be the bad guy. He's like the one helping the lead vampire and stuff. So he betrays James Woods in the end. Yeah. But yes, sick.
Wasn't there a scene, and again, man, I love James Woods. He's saying something, I guess, the guy you were talking about, the priest or the bishop, he's saying something to the vampire, and it's affecting him. And James Woods says something like, "Come on, Padre, keep going, keep fucking with them." Do you remember that line at all? Hopefully, I don't have the wrong movie, but I remember that the priest is either saying like a prayer or something, and the vampire's kind of backing away, and they're kind of cornering him in, and James goes, "Come on, Podgy, keep going, keep fucking with them."
Yeah, it is vampires. Yeah,
Yeah, that is a dope movie. So I recommend it.
highly recommend. Highly recommend.
So once again, John Carpenter's 1998 Vampires. So that was movie number 5, and I'm glad that we got those pictures up on the screen. So now we're gonna go to one of my favorites that I saw at the movies. This is 1985. What year did I say? Yours was 89, if I'm correct, right? Vampires?
98.
98. Okay, 98. And okay, I guess I just read it wrong. And one of mine is 1985 Fright Night. How did Peter Vincent say it? Fright Night. Okay.
Classic. They got Chris Sarandon, and then I remember this one was actually one of my earlier vampire movies I ever saw. I would say maybe like just ball gaming, maybe around like maybe the 5th or 4th vampire movie I ever saw.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a really cool early memory for me.
Okay, Chris Sarandon, which is the vampire, he played a cool ass vampire. Okay, and William Ragsdale, I believe, that's how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
He's Charlie Brewster.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the kid who lives next door to the vampire. And then here we have, I believe I'm pronouncing her name right, Amanda Beers or Bears.
I think it's Bear.
Yeah,
It might be Bears. Yeah.
She's Amy Peterson, which is Charlie Brewster's girlfriend. Okay, and then we have Roddy McDowell, which is Peter Vincent. What do you say? Famous vampire killer.
Yeah.
Ready to kill the undead. So he. Well, let me tell you what this movie's about. This guy Brewster realizes that there's a vampire living next door to him. Okay, and he gets so scared. And again, I'm giving it to you all in a nutshell. He starts watching TV, and back in the day when I grew up, we used to watch Elvira on TV. I guess in this movie, Peter Vincent is kind of like their version of Elvira, but he's a vampire killer on TV.
Right.
Okay. But he's a fictional vampire. Like, he's not a real vampire killer.
And then if I remember, like as the movie goes on, don't they like call him washed up or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. They're like, oh, you're washed up or something.
Yeah. So, but he was just a TV actor. So Charlie Brewster goes to the studio and tries to talk to Peter Vincent. There's a vampire killer. I know you're a vampire killer. I mean, there's a vampire. You're a vampire killer. Help me come kill the vampire. So Peter Vincent thinks he's crazy. But when they go visit the vampire, do you remember how he finds out he's a vampire?
It was through was it a reflection or something?
There you go.
Yeah, it was a reflection, right? Yeah.
Yes. Now, supposedly, if we could put up the vampire, I think there's different scenes or different pictures of the vampire that you can put up on the screen and of the different actors. What it is that Peter Vincent, the vampire killer, goes with Charlie Brewster to the actual vampire's home. Okay. They check it out. Peter Vincent says, everything's fine here. We're going to go home. As he turns around, he opens up, I guess, like a mirror. And he's looking at himself, I guess, fixing his face. And it would be like me facing it towards Afro, and I don't see his reflection. And supposedly, a cool thing is that vampires are not supposed to have reflections. So that's when he finds out that he's a vampire.
And Fright Night might have been... That might have been the first time I saw a vampire movie with that trick. Where you're like, with that, like, definitely from my personal memory. But yeah, man, that was a really, really cool trick seeing that for me seeing that for the first time, and I thought that was really cool.
Okay, now this movie was, if you will, maybe you can help me categorize it. It's a vampire movie with humor.
Yeah, definitely funny moments. And it has its creepy moments, it has its horror elements, but I would definitely consider it like a comedy horror vampire film.
There you go. Okay. That's how I want to do my film. I want to do it with it serious, but it has that dash of humor. You know, like, you know which one was kind of crazy? It was a good movie, but it had a sense of humor to it. I think it was called, I want to say No Way Out, about the black guy and the white girl. Or Get Out.
Oh, Get Out. Yeah.
It had a sense of humor in there. Okay, but yet it was serious.
Yeah, it was a serious subject matter of how him being trapped in there and the hypnosis and stuff like that. But also the little funny little jabs here or the quips here and there.
Right. That's how I kind of want to do my film. I thought this had a little bit more humor, but it was actually really good. There's a lot of good quotes in there. And I like when the vampire, remember when he starts like, Amy, like that fucking shit was fucking hilarious, bro. By the way, you can curse too. So
Nice.
so as long as it's the F word, like freaky, it's all good. But yeah, that was a good movie. If you guys want to check out a good comical horror vampire movie, this is it.
I highly recommend, dude. Fire. And in my opinion, the remake did not do it justice.
No.
I think it was 2011 or something like that around there.
Yeah.
I didn't love the remake.
What was it? Colin
Farrell, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
You know, okay, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to sit here and say I liked it. But tell me if this makes sense to you. Okay, it's kind of like when when Disney took over Star Wars, some of them I thought were whack, but I wanted to like it so bad because I'm such a Star Wars fan.
Right.
So when I saw the remake, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I just wanted to see something good, and I kept watching it until it became somewhat entertaining to me. But ultimately, I didn't think it lived up to the first one.
Right. That's exactly how I feel. It's like I remember watching it and just being like, wow. Me personally, I felt it didn't hold a candle to the original.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, and then it was based out of Vegas. This one wasn't based out of Vegas. And I thought Colin Farrell, I didn't think he was a good vampire. And then Peter Vincent was, I think, some rock star or something, or what was he?
It was like a cameo or something, right? Or he had a role in there too, or
no, I'm talking about.
Oh no. You're right. The guy from the original who they had the role that they did for the new one. I think he was like a rock star or something. Yeah.
And then the only, you know what's funny, man? I was watching that movie, and I don't know if you remember. Charlie Brewster goes and visits the guy that's going to help him kill the vampire, okay? And he's dressed, he looks like a rock star, okay? And do you remember all he drank was Midori Sour?
Yeah, sour, yeah.
Okay. I remember I got so damn thirsty watching that movie that I pressed pause. I went to the liquor store and I bought some Midori Sour, and I was drinking it with ice, watching that. That was the only thing good part about that movie, you know? And then Evil, I didn't think Evil, which was... McLovin.
Yeah, Christopher Mintz-Plasse. Yeah. I remember that. I was like, this is a weird casting choice. You know?
Yeah. I liked Evil better from the first one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
He was great. Evil was great. McLovin, not so good.
Nah, I wasn't like. He has one or two roles that I like, but for the most part, I'm not a big fan of McLovin's great, but otherwise, I've seen him like in Kick-Ass 2. I wasn't a big fan of him in that one. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. So that was Fright Night, 1985. Then we come to number 7, which is Daybreakers, 2009. Now, I will admit, this one I should have done my homework a little bit more, but I will be honest with you, I've never seen Daybreakers.
Yeah, this one was I saw this one in theaters, but I felt like it wasn't marketed as well. And I remember like 2010. I remember 2010 when it dropped, and the theater that we went into was relatively like half empty. So I just remember it didn't make too much noise. But this one stars Ethan Hawke. You have and Ethan Hawke is like a regular. We're in the future too. The movie's futuristic, but this one was different because it was a cool look into how the vampires operate in their world. So they had like fucking cloned bodies, or not cloned, but like bodies that were for harvesting and shit, like in this huge space. And then like you see how vampires operate like regular people. Instead of cups of coffee, they drink like cups of blood and shit like that. So it's a really gross feeling while you're watching the movie. But it's kind of interesting how these everyday vampires are like imitating us, and they're living like how we would and shit, you know,
yes.
and how they operate. And this was cool. Like a Willem Dafoe, he does a really cool job, because we're used to seeing Willem Dafoe as like a crazy guy, like a Green Goblin type of performance, I love Willem Dafoe. But this one, he's really nuanced. He's really chill. He's a vampire killer in this one, and he kicks ass. Like this is a dope Willem Dafoe performance too. And he's really laid back, and he helps Ethan Hawke on his journey to fight back against the vampires. And this one I remember in theaters, of how bloody this was. Like Daybreakers is a pretty bloody movie, and I'm a gore hound. I love my blood and guts, but I'd probably put the blood on like a strong 7 or like a light 8 out of 10 with Daybreakers. It's pretty up there.
Wow. Now, you know what? I guess I need to see it. On a scale of 1 to 10, according to Afro, where would you put that at?
Like as a overall film?
Correct. Yes.
I would give I would give it like a solid 8 out of 10. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
Okay, I'm definitely going to watch it then because I like William Dafoe.
Oh, I think you'll really like him in this one because it's kind of a different turn from him because I really appreciated how cool and just chill he was in the movie because we're used to seeing him manic. We're used to seeing him like a psychopath. So
I'm trying to remember you know what? He did a cameo. And he still played a great role, even though it was a small part in one of the John Wick movies.
Yeah, I liked his role in it. And I wish he actually, because he gets killed in the first one, I think.
I think it was the first one.
Yeah, he was only in the first one. And I felt like they brought so many characters back through the franchise. I felt he was easily a character that could have been, just keep coming back. Because he was dope. I liked his character in John Wick 1.
He is such a great actor. And again, he's a guy, at least in my opinion, like a Dustin Hoffman, like a Morgan Freeman, like a James Woods, at least in my opinion, are not getting their flowers, in my opinion. Those are guys that, like who I like, and I believe he's such a great actor, but I don't hear so many people bragging about him, how dope they are. I like that one kid, Edward Norton.
Oh yeah, Edward Norton. Yeah, Edward Norton's dope. He's a dope actor.
He's dope.
Yeah, he's dope.
And let's be honest, Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, I love Robert Downey Jr. You're gonna laugh at my favorite performance from him, though. Tropic Thunder. That's my favorite Robert Downey Jr. performance.
You know what? But
that's actually my favorite Tom Cruise performance too. Because when I was in the theater, I had no idea that was Tom Cruise. I remember at the end, like staying till the end credits and being like, that was fucking Tom Cruise. No, like he blew me away with that one. So that's my favorite performance from him.
Really?
Yeah, I thought he was just a completely different dude.
Okay,
there.
Here's what made me hate him. Not hate him like overall, but in that movie, Less Than Zero. You ever watch Less Than Zero?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Remember he plays the crackhead and they catch him in the room blowing some dude, and I'm like, dude, I could not have done that. And then it was weird because after that movie came out, that's when he went downhill, if you remember. He went downhill and he was into heroin. He was into everything.
Downey Jr., right? Yeah, Downey Jr.
He did Time, and then all of a sudden, what brought I think he did The Fugitive Part 2. What was it called? With Wesley Snipes. It was The Fugitive Part 2. I'm trying to remember.
Was it a straight to DVD one, or?
Yeah, it was. It was. Remember The Fugitive with
Harrison Ford. Right?
Harrison Ford, and then they did a Part 2, had Wesley Snipes, and they still had another great actor, Tommy Lee Jones, and what was it? Marshall.
Oh yeah. Fuck, I know the name of it. Yeah. Shit.
But Robert Downey Jr. was in it. He was a crooked bastard. Okay, he was a crooked dude, and then after that, that's when he came back with Iron Man. I think
U.S. Marshals. I think.
There you go.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah, and then he came back with Iron Man was his first big break in a very long time,
and he's been here since.
Yeah, and I think Tropic Thunder. Actually, I kind of take that back as Tropic Thunder. I don't know if that was a year before Iron Man or a year after. And I think Tropic Thunder, because he strangely, for how bizarre and batshit that performance is, Downey Jr. got an Oscar nomination for Tropic Thunder. Yeah. So it's like the weirdest Oscar nomination in the entire planet. But, and I think that's what kind of brought him back to form. I can't remember if Iron Man 1 is either 2008 or 2007. But Tropic Thunder is 2007. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to confess, I've never seen Tropic Thunder.
Oh, check it out, man. I think you'll like it.
Okay.
I think you'll like it.
I'm going to check that out.
I appreciate that one because I think Ben Stiller's kind of like an underrated director in a sense. Like he doesn't really like he's obviously not a Scorsese caliber or nothing like that, but I think he's like in a way underappreciated kind of director.
Okay. So that was number 7, Daybreakers, with, you said, Ethan Hawke, and
William
Dafoe,
and Sam Neill, Grant from Jurassic Park, the main dude. He plays the main scumbag in Daybreakers, and he does a great job playing the scumbag. Like, you really hate him in the movie.
When you can hate someone in the movie, they did a great job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like I hated Joaquin Phoenix in Gladiator.
Oh yeah, he was a scumbag.
I couldn't stand his ass.
He was whiny. He was a scumbag. Yeah,
he was the type of guy that you would say, if I saw his ass, I would knock his ass out on sight. But that's how much of a great role he played. You know. So okay, let's move on. That was number 7, Daybreakers. Definitely check that. I'm gonna check that out. Now that was number 7. Number 8, which is 1992, and I saw this in the theaters. Let's put that up. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Coppola. Yeah, Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay. Let me read something about this. Hopefully my notes didn't. Okay. This Gary Oldman.
Oh, he's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Gary Oldman is one of my favorite actors. And I'm going to tell you where he won me over.
He's one of the greats.
On the movie Professional.
Oh my, that's an incredible performance, dude. Like, he was a psychopath. Like, that's easily the best performance in the movie too. Like he's in another world in that damn movie. And I love Jean Reno, but dude, yeah, that's another world.
Okay, here's what gets me is that, like, when he took his pill.
Yeah, and he cracks his neck and shit and like that. Yeah.
Like, if you ask me, I think that was all him. He probably improvised that. I don't think that was in the script.
He improvised a large bulk of his character, actually. If you read the trivia on The Professional, Oldman did a lot of improvisation in there.
If you guys never watched The Professional, you guys check. They're definitely a dope movie. But Gary Oldman here plays Dracula. And then we have Winona Ryder.
Yeah. Okay. Winona Ryder, yeah.
Okay.
And then
Anthony Hopkins. Another amazing...
Love Hopkins, yeah. I love Hopkins.
Another amazing actor. I mean, I don't even know where to start with him, bro, because he just has. You know which one? I don't remember the name. Remember, he plays the priest that gets possessed. I think it was called The Right.
The Right, yeah, that was a recent one. Yeah, 2011.
Yeah. You know, here's my thing. I thought it was cool. I liked it. I don't think it was a 10, but it just makes sense. I liked it because it was him, and I got a chance to see him act. I guess like. Play a priest, and he played a demonically possessed priest.
Yeah.
And he did a great job.
Yeah, dude, Hopkins is literally one of the GOATs. He's like a top 5 actor of all time. If somebody told me, hey, Anthony Hopkins is my favorite actor ever, I'd be like, yeah, bro, I can't argue with that. That's awesome. Great pick.
Here's another one, Hannibal.
Oh,
Silence of the Lambs.
Dude, that's an out of this world performance. That's a performance that got its flowers, because sometimes a performance is so good and it does not get its flowers. But that one was the one that it did. And this dude won an Oscar for 15 minutes of screen time. Like, if you watch Silence of the Lambs, he's in the whole movie, but he's sprinkled in throughout the movie. So he doesn't like he's in there, but yeah, the dude he steals the fucking movie.
Yeah. I think we have another picture that we could put up. We could trade back and forth. I think, but yeah, definitely bring that up. But Gary Oldman, man, he just freaked me out. Okay, let's move it on. Anthony Hopkins, Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder,
and Keanu Reeves.
Yes, yeah. Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves. Okay, look at. I really, number one, I love The Matrix. I don't really care too much for the last Matrix.
Right. I wasn't a fan. Yeah, I didn't like it. Yeah.
I like John Wick. I really do. I think he's freaking dope in John Wick. Okay. This one, I don't know if he was fairly new, or I just don't think he met the part. But overall, they all did great, and I still recommend it. Okay.
In my opinion, as much as I love Keanu, he's definitely the weakest part of the film.
That's
because he's like, oh, I brought him there. I brought him like his accent's horrible, and I love I'm a big fan of Keanu, but Dracula might be his worst performance, or at least one of them. Yeah, and the movie's sick. I love Dracula. I love this version. But
yeah, okay. Now I'm gonna talk about a part that really blew me away. Something that I've never seen in any other movie, and you're a movie watcher, so you can help me out. Let's put up the next picture up there. There's a third picture, and this is where the beast, the werewolf, or whatever it is actually having sex with a woman.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a pretty crazy scene. Like, I think I saw that when I was like 13 or some shit.
Yeah, man.
It was pretty wild watching that. I was like, what the fuck?
Because I've never seen anything like that. And even after, have you? Like where a woman is having sex with a beast, like a werewolf or something.
Oh, I remember there is a weird, really weird 80s movie called, I think, The Beast Within. And it's a chick that gets raped by the werewolf. So it's like it's very bizarre. Like I was put onto that movie and I'm like, why the fuck am I watching this movie, dude? But that was the first time I saw that first with Dracula. Like I saw Beast Within way later. But that was the first time I ever seen that type of shit was probably this movie. Yeah.
When I saw that and the homeboy's going deep in her and she's loving it and he turns around and looks at the camera, I'm like, what the hell? Because I've never seen anything like that before. There's just a lot. I mean, the cinematography is amazing.
Oh, yeah, it looks beautiful. The movie looks awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think they could have gotten anybody else to play Dracula than Gary Oldman.
I think it was a perfect choice.
Yeah.
It was an absolutely perfect choice. Like Oldman is, when he's in his bag or when he's in his zone, he's in there. He's tapped in, you know, one of the GOATs.
Now this one, in a sense, is a lot like Fright Night. And let me explain. Dracula sees Keanu Reeves' girl, and it reminds him of the girl that he was once with.
Right. Yeah.
In Fright Night, the vampire looks at Charlie Bruce's girl, and it reminds him of his girl. So I think they kind of took the same concept, but obviously two different types of movies.
And not too far apart, too, since Friday Night was 85, Bram Stoker's Dracula, 92, but that could have been developed for like a year or two. So realistically, 89 or 90 when it was being developed, you know?
Yeah. If you guys have not seen it, definitely check it out. I recommend Dracula. Gary Oldman is, again, is the GOAT.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of Winona Ryder, they're coming out, I don't know if she's in it, with Beetlejuice Part 2.
She's in it, yeah.
Oh, she is in it.
The only person that's not coming back for Beetlejuice 2 is Alec Baldwin. And I kind of get why. I understand what they're trying to get away from all the, you know, the shooting and all that shit. Yeah, so, but Alec's the only one not coming back, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Let me give my opinion about this kind of movies. Okay, one of my favorite comedy movies of all time, and I'm going to tie it up with Beetlejuice, is Coming to America.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, my favorite comedy movie of all time. Now, when they did Coming to America Part 2, it was years too late.
Awful. I was literally so mad at my TV. Like, and I had a feeling because PG-13. Like, how do you fucking make Coming to America PG-13? I'm like, that was the biggest red flag for me. If it was R-rated, I would have been a little bit more excited, just because Coming to America is rooted in R, and it's a total R movie.
Yes.
So that was definitely like my biggest, like, hold up, this movie might suck.
Hold up.
Yeah.
But that's my thing. Like, so now tying it in with Beetlejuice, even though I'm excited to watch it, is this movie done too late?
That's the thing. It's like you would really have to be special to pull it off. Like if you're able to mix a nice balance between nostalgia and be a good movie, then you will win. Because a lot of these movies and shows now, they're bringing back a lot of our heroes, shit like Indiana Jones or like Han Solo, and they're just fucking off their characters, dude. Like they're literally turning them into like, yeah. Oh, yeah, the CGI shit too is crazy. Like they're literally green screening these motherfuckers and they're putting like trying to make us believe like this 80-year-old is trying to play a 40 or 50-year-old, and most of the time it doesn't work. But it's with a Beetlejuice 2, that's the thing, is like, one thing I do admire that I read some trivia on Beetlejuice 2 is that they are going to go the practical effects route. I did see that in the trivia. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. If they're managed to keep it in the practical effects, even if you use like 2% of the computer animation, just a small 2%, I could pass it. But if it becomes very noticeable into the film, it's not going to give us that Beetlejuice feel.
Right.
So as long as you give us that Beetlejuice feel, give us a little bit of nostalgia, but that should be dope. Be a dope movie, you know?
Is homeboy, what's his name that played Beetlejuice? Is he going to be
Michael Keaton? Yeah, he's back. Everybody's back except
okay,
Baldwin.
but Michael Keaton, how old is he now, bro?
Oh, dude, he's like what, 72? Yeah, dude. Tim Burton's back. Everybody's back except
Damn, everybody's back. So imagine telling.
And that's rare. Usually, like when shit's back, they change directors, they change writers, they get all new teams. So that's why Beetlejuice 2, I don't want to put my anticipation too high because I feel if I do that, I'm going to get disappointed. So I'm like, I'll just keep it a little bit right here. And if I enjoy it, I love it. Hey, cool. You know?
Dope. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and switch channels here and then go. Okay. We did 8 movies already. This one was Bram Stoker's Dracula 1992. So let me go ahead and read them to you again before we move into his last 2 choices. And they're part 1 and part 2. So guess what they are? So the first movie we talked about was From Dusk Till Dawn, 1996. The second movie that I spoke on was Lost Boys, 1987. The third movie was 30 Days of Nights, 2007, which I say you guys can watch tonight.
That's a banger.
Okay. Movie number 4 that I chose was Salem's Lot, 1979. Movie number 5 that he chose was John Carpenter's Vampires, 1998. Movie number 6 was Fright Night, 1985. 7th movie was Daybreakers, 2009. And number 8 was Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1992. And his favorite last 2 vampire movies are
Blade 1 and 2, niggas. Blade 1 and 2. Blade 1 and 2, Wesley Snipes.
Blade 1 and 2.
And I'm not a big fan of Trinity, the third one, but there's some cool things I like about it, but definitely like I feel that the third Blade film does not hold up as well as the first 2. I think the first 2 are bangers, like just fantastic.
Okay. What about the I think he's just going through the posters that we just talked about, but Blade should be coming up. But okay. When I first found out that Blade was Wesley Snipes, I'll be honest with you. I said, can he pull it off?
Right. It's like a doubt or like
Yes.
yeah.
But I'll tell you what, he pulled that motherfucker off. You know, he did a great job. I'm gonna tell you, and I love movies like this, bro. Remember, it's like that. What do you call it? It's like a rave scene. They're like,
yeah. And then the first one, the rave, it opens up in the rave,
it's crazy. And they're all jumping up and down. They're all dancing. They're going crazy. And then all of a sudden, the water starts coming down, and then there's going crazier. And then all of a sudden, blood
starts raining. Yep.
That was crazy for me. And then all of a sudden, Blade comes in.
Just starts whooping ass immediately. It's just it's sick, dude. Because in the opening scene we're following, it's a pretty interesting way to open the film. We're following like this weird like human guy. This chick is like dragging him to the rave, and then they're on the way there, and then he's like naive. He's like, hey, what's going on? He's a little sketched out, but as the blood starts pouring out, the vampires start getting revealed to everybody at the rave's a fucking vampire, and then like right when this dude's about to get murked by like the chick that brought him there, that's when Blade pops in, just starts whooping ass. So
yeah, now I've gone to places when, back then we called it rave. We used to call the music rave when it first came out. At first it was like there was house, and then it was hip house, or guys were rapping to house music. And then I remember this one guy told me, hey, man, I'm going to go to this one club where they play house music, but it's a little bit crazier, and they have no lyrics. It was just damn. So I asked this one DJ, because I recognized him, and it was DJ Hunting Vision from Papa 106 at the time, and I knew the guy. I said, what is this? It's not like house music. He goes, oh, it's rave. Now, and then for a while, they started calling the events raves. And then now what is it, EDC, or what is it, I don't know what the hell they call it. But anyways, for me, in the early 90s, it was rave music. And I got invited to, it looked like a Blade location. You go downstairs, and there was one restaurant for women, and then they had like a bar. And it just reminded me too much of freaking Blade. So I was like, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I don't like being at a place where there's only one way out.
Oh, definitely red flag ass time to go. Yeah. Because you have to at least have 2 or 3 exits. And I feel the same way. Like I've always been like that kind of dude. Like growing up, where I was an observer. If I walk into a room, I'm like, hey, I got to know the exit. I'm really weird too. Like if I'm at a restaurant, I got to make sure that I'm like I can see the door, that my back isn't really faced. So,
Yes.
so I'm sounds a little too much, but that's me.
So Blade was one of my favorites. Honestly, I don't really remember the part 2. If you can
awesome.
If you can refresh my memory on that one.
Two is my personal favorite because Guillermo del Toro is the one that directed 2, and
Okay.
the first one is a guy named Stephen Norrington, but David S. Goyer wrote the first one and he wrote the second one. But Del Toro, it was really cool because Del Toro, we're usually like we're used to seeing him like some Pan's Labyrinth or some very creepy imagery, and you get a dose of that in Blade 2. Like there's some pretty creepy. Like to me, the vampires themselves are pretty freaky because their jaws like detach. And like their mandibles and shit, and then like it's like pretty, and it's really done well, like how they do it, and then they latch onto the fucking victims like that. They have like fangs that are like poisonous and shit, like side fangs I think that can toxins that inject in you, and dude, the vampires freaked me out as a kid. I remember because the first one to me, if it was dope, but it felt like I got a little bit more of like the action sense.
Yes.
And 2 is pure action. 2 is an action flick. But there's also I felt 2 kind of edged it out with the creepy imagery. That I felt that dose of Del Toro in the film for sure with 2. And I'm not the biggest CGI. I hate CGI and computer animation, but I felt Blade 2 is definitely one of the like rare ones that completely works. Like I'm not really questioning any of the effects or anything in 2. And I think they actually make the fight scenes and stuff kind of cool. And there are definitely really cool practical effects too. It's not all CGI in Blade 2. But the vampires are awesome. Oh, and I think you'll love 2 because Blade, there's a group called the Blood Pack, and these guys kick ass. You have Ron Perlman, Hellboy, who I'm a big fan of, and he plays like a Nazi racist like scumbag, and he doesn't go too crazy in the film, but him and Wesley Snipes are beefing in the movie, and it's really fun banter. And Blade 2, I felt kicked it up with the really funny dialogue because Blade 2 is a nice mesh of horror, action, and comedy. It's pretty funny when you think about it when you check it out. But the group that Blade meets with, they kick ass. The Blood Pack kicks ass, and there's just really nice chemistry. And Chris Christopherson I think is an underrated actor.
Chris Christopherson. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I think he was the perfect choice for Whistler, for Blade's mentor, the old white dude.
So he actually came out in part 2 as well.
He's in all 3. He's a big part in 2. He's a bigger part in 2, and he actually survives in 2. But I hate how they did him in 3. I hate how they did him in 3. That was like the worst choice in the whole movie for me. I was like, dude, you killed I'm spoiling it for you, but you killed the best character in like the first 10 minutes. And you did him dirty as shit too. So, but Whistler might be besides Blade, he might be my favorite character in the whole franchise. In the trilogy.
Okay. I'm definitely going to check out 2. Part 1 came out in 1998. And part 2 came out 4 years later, 2002. So I'm definitely going to have to check that one out. So, man.
Oh, and the soundtracks kick ass. I know on the soundtrack, number 1, Gangstar's on there. So you have some Primo on there. And then with Blade 2, you have like some Ice Cube. You got some, I think, Gorillaz, or maybe not Gorillaz, but I don't know if it's Rage. Or the soundtrack for 2 is pretty cool. Mos Def is on there. So, yeah.
Dope. Is there any other vampire movie that maybe we just didn't include in here that you probably would have thrown in there? I'm trying to think of one, and believe me, Interview with the Vampire is not one of them. So I'm trying to think of a good one. That
I Am Legend, people I've heard people call the infected vampires in I Am Legend, but I consider them a little bit more infected. Like infected is like 28 days later, or like, because they don't call them zombies in that film. They're just like, they're just like mindless, like mindless and like hostile.
If I had to choose between a zombie and a vampire, I would say zombie. If I had just those 2 choices, what would you liken them more, to a zombie or to a vampire?
Zombie. I would definitely love to kill a zombie more than a vampire, because depending, like if we're going against motherfuckers like 30 Days of Night, we're not going to make it. Those dudes were murking motherfuckers left and right, and they know where you are. You can't hide. And with zombies, you can hide. Like the worst that I've heard with zombies are when they're not in large groups is that maybe they could smell you, or maybe they can But even that, they have to be, from what I've seen, close contact, even if that happens. But for the most part, zombies are really, all right, I'm going, I'm just walking, walking,
Right.
doing my thing. And then when they see you, that's when they're like, oh, it's dinner. So with vampires, they're interested in you. They're like, oh, if you're human, we could jump in the fucking air. We could jump on houses and roofs. We can see you that you're in the attic. So you're fucked,
Yeah. Underworld.
Oh, shit, Kate Beckinsale, right? Yeah,
Yeah. I like the first one.
Wait, was that a mix between vampires and werewolves? Or okay,
Yeah.
I was thinking. Yeah, I think the first one's sick. How many underworlds are there? 4 or 5?
There's just too many. I just saw one. But Van Helsing is actually pretty good. I like that one.
I think that one's underrated. Like, people hate that one, and I think it's a little bit underrated.
Which one?
The Hugh Jackman one.
Yes.
Yeah, I had
the Wolverine guy.
Yeah, I had fun with that one.
I like that one.
The same guy who directed that one did The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. Okay, now Van Helsing, that one, if I'm correct, has Sean Connery in there, right?
Oh, is Sean Connery in Van
Yeah.
Helsing? Holy shit! I can't remember him in that one.
Oh no, it was, or was it? I'm trying to remember. It was the one. Which one was the one that had the submarine? Remember? League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I was gonna say that one. Yeah, Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That's the one that had Sean Connery. I like that movie.
Yeah, and people hate that one too. And
I don't know why.
I remember liking that one. Yeah, I remember having fun with it.
I liked it. And they had the Invisible Man, remember? And then I think the girl was a vampire, wasn't she?
Yeah.
That would I like. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And I'm going to throw in Van Helsing. I like Van Helsing.
Me too. That was a fun theater. I was a kid when I saw it in theaters, but it was fun. I had fun with it, man. Like,
here's another one now. Are these vampires? What was this? God, I want to say Snow White or Snow, or you know where I'm going with it.
was it Let the One In or
No. It's the one. God, it's on the tip of my tongue. It was like, and it was all women like vampires. And Norbert, look it up. And I think it has the girl that was in. Man, I'm stuck. She came in that movie Monster. Remember that monster with the serial killer?
Oh, Charlize Theron?
Yeah, she was she was in that movie. It was a vampire movie. If you can look her up. But it was a great something that was Snow White and the something.
Oh, and The Huntsman?
There you go.
That was a vampire flick?
No, that's what I'm asking. Were they
oh.
considered vampires? Did you see that one?
I didn't get to see that one. Yeah.
Check it out. Look it up, Norbert, real quick. That one I thought was actually pretty damn good.
All right. Because is that a Disney flick? Or
No, it's not. It's not.
was it an R-rated flick? Or
You know what? Let's look it up right now. Let me see. Can you look? Did you look it up?
was it Snow White and the Huntsman? Or look up Charlize Theron.
Oh, no. I know what you're saying. That future.
No, it's not.
Eon Flux.
No,
I think they were back.
it's the Huntsman, the one I just said.
Snow White and the Huntsman?
Did you find that one? If not,
Real quick.
well, yeah, go for it. Look it up. We have time. What's that?
The actors.
Oh, no. We found her.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah, Snow White and something, and I think it was like a vampire movie. But anyways, look up the actor, you guys, and I totally forgot about that movie.
The Old Guard?
No.
No? Says she's a vampire soldier in that one. I didn't even know that.
That's a good movie. She's a vampire. You know what? I should have brought that one up.
The Old Guard?
When you get a chance, please look at the Old Guard.
Because it was on my watch. It was on my watch list. I just never got to it when it came out.
No,
it's recent. It came out a few years ago.
Yes, that's, you know what? Damn, I would have included it in here. That's a really, really good one. But Snow White and the Seven Huntsmen, you guys didn't find it?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. This one right here. This one. Grab it, bro. This one. Touch it. See that one on top?
Huntsman. Right?
Yeah. What's it called? Just a Huntsman? Okay. I think there's a few. Let me see. Okay, no. I don't know how to back up, but check whatever part one that is. I think it is something in the Huntsman. Anyways, we're not going to waste any more time. But it's with that same actress, and it had a bunch of vampires on there. So let's see if somebody put it.
It says right here the story.
Okay. Dracula Untold. Another good one.
Yeah, I remember that was that came out I think like what 2014 or 2013 ish or 2015. Yeah, around. I remember when that came out.
You know what intrigued me about that movie is that he went to go find the vampire, if you will, or the monster for help, for him to get help because they were about to invade his people, and he actually went to go find the freaking vampire. I thought that was dope. So I like that movie, but the guard movie you just said,
The old guard joint, yeah.
definitely check that out, bro. Definitely. So let me see. Nobody put it on the live chat. We'll look it up after. Alice, go ahead and put up the number. We'll go ahead and take some calls. Let me connect. My phone's dying, so we'll try to take as many calls as we can. We got about 20 minutes of phone calls, so I'm connected. Anybody wants to call and talk about what we talked about, want to touch on, share with us one of your favorite movies, call in right now. We got possibly about 20 minutes, so you guys go ahead and call in as soon as you guys get a chance. All righty, then. If not, then we're just going to continue to chop it up and end it early. Well, oh, there it is right there. Okay. Is the number up? Oh, yeah. Cool. All righty, then. Okay, let's see who's going to be the first caller. If you guys don't want to call, then don't worry about it. We'll just let Afro continue to sip on his drinky drink. And are you enjoying yourself? You feel a little buzz yet?
Yeah, I'm definitely there. I'm definitely a good 5, 6 out of 10. Maybe a 5 out of 10.
All good. Okay, you know what? So let's see. If nobody calls, this will be like a first. But we got our faithful that always
call them in.
Yes, let me see. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm going to look up Snow White. Okay, let's see. Okay.
There's a horrible movie I saw with vampires. I know Frederick Starr from Onyx was in it. Maybe I think Fred Williamson sadly was in it too. I think it was like blood-sucking vampires maybe. Oh, Vegas vampires.
Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
You already know it's last name Contreras, first name Bot.
What's up, my brother? Keep it with the movies, homie. Let's go.
I'm going to keep it with the movies, brother. I was going to ask a question to, if I'm not mistaken, his name is Afro?
Correct.
What's
Am
good,
I
brother?
saying it correct?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother.
What did you think? What did you think about the mix-up when they did the exorcism? Because the exorcism was not based on a girl; it was based on a little boy, and it was out of New Jersey. How did you feel about that movie when they recreated it?
And which one with the
Exorcist?
or
Yeah, the Exorcist. Yeah.
I know they remade it. They did a bunch of them, bro. Like I know they did Exorcist.
The first one, the very first one.
Yeah, the classic, the William Friedkin, the Reagan, the Linda Blair.
Yes.
Bro, they're even making a new one right now. Like they literally just made an Exorcist show like fucking 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I heard it was pretty decent. I didn't check it out. But they're making a new Exorcist movie right now. And the guy who directs, sadly, David Gordon Green, who did Halloween Ends and fucking Halloween Kills recently, which weren't too great, he's directing the new Exorcist. So I don't have too much high hopes.
No, me neither. And I'll tell you why. Because I saw the trailer, whatever they released. It looked more like a haunted house than a demon possession. That's what I didn't like about it.
Yeah.
But you know what, Box? I will say this, that for years I've known that it was about a little boy, not about a girl. I just think that Hollywood wanted to add a twist to it.
They switch shit up all the time, though, bro. Like Hollywood, like even if they get like let's say if it was a true story, they'll get it, they'll translate it to the movie, and then instead of like it being a boy, it'll be a girl, or instead of like them being white, it'll be black. Instead of them being, that's how they usually do it in Hollywood, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason why I brought that to the table is because I read up on it. I know the history about it, and when they did it the way they did it, it kind of just threw me off. It's like, why are we switching it up? But I just wanted to get your input on it. I know you know your history. Again, brothers, thank you for taking my call. the chat's going crazy. They're really throwing my names in it, but it's cool. It is what it is.
All good, my bro.
Thank you guys for taking my call.
Yes,
No,
sir.
you're good, brother.
Okay,
Catch you around.
have a
buddy.
good one.
All right. Let's keep it going. You know what? I like The Exorcist. I don't know if any of the remakes have ever lived up to it. I don't know. I didn't like any of them.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of them either because they tried it so many times. Like they tried Exorcist. I know they did like 2 or 3 of them in like the mid 2000s.
Yeah, they're still exercising. Okay, let's go. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Tony? What's up, Afro? My name's Joe. I'm calling from Paso Robles,
Nice to
California.
meet you, bro.
What's good, my brother? You
Nice
got
to
a
meet you,
question?
man. Hey, I just had a quick question. Yeah, I do. I tuned in not too long ago, but I was at the car wash, so I couldn't really hear it all. But did you guys mention a movie by the name of A Vampire in Brooklyn?
No, that's Wes Craven. No, that's Eddie Murphy and Wes Craven. Yeah, we didn't add it on the list, but I was thinking about it, but there was a bunch to choose from, you know. But yeah, are you a fan of Vampire in Brooklyn?
Yeah, you know, that's what I wanted to say, man. Is I kind of dug that movie, man. I thought it was pretty good. It had some funny scenes as well.
Yeah, and people hate it, but I actually love John Witherspoon in it. I think John Witherspoon steals the show. He plays like the crazy guy with the glasses, like, oh, he's a vampire. And Eddie, it's weird seeing Eddie in that kind of role where he's just really kind of like really pretty laid back for the most part playing a vampire, but I enjoy it. And Wes Craven, yeah. When it came out, it flopped. People hated it. Critics hated it. Audiences hated it. So that was, I think even Wes Craven hated it himself. But I don't think it deserved, I don't think it deserved, you know, all that to that degree, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%, man. Yeah, that was all. That was all I wanted to ask, man. I just thought it was a good movie. I thought I'd bring it up.
All good, my brother. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks. You guys have a
Let's keep it pushing. You know what? But I do like Dracula Untold. I do. And then that guard, On Guard, or whatever it was called.
The Old Guard, yeah.
Old Guard. Definitely check that one out. I really, really enjoyed it, especially because when somebody recommended it to me, I was watching it and I didn't know where this was going. And then when it hit you pretty early, you're like, holy crap. It was one of those. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, Tony. What's up, Afro? This is Bad Pitbull calling from the city of Atlanta.
What up, brother? How are you, man?
But,
Good to hear from you.
Here, I want to let you guys know that. Did you guys know that if a vampire bites an eye fool, the vampire will get diabetes? So just if any vampires are watching.
Just a heads up.
But yeah. But I think a movie that's overlooked too is I think the movie's called I, Frankenstein, where Frankenstein fights vampires and gargoyles, I believe.
That's weird, man. I was just thinking. You must have read in my mind. I was thinking about that randomly a couple minutes ago. Yeah, Aaron Eckhart starred in that one, and that's another one.
Yeah.
That's another one people despise. Like when it came out in 2012, 2013, 14, around there, people hated that fucking movie, and I thought it was okay. I had a decent time with it.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah. I liked it. I saw it in theaters, and no eye fools were watching it. Just me by myself. They were all scared seeing it. But
all
that's
good.
it. And then with that movie with Danny Trejo and George Clooney.
Dust of Dawn.
Dust of Dawn.
Yeah. The thing that freaked me out was the very, very end, where if you saw the clip where it zooms out, it's a big temple, and all you see all the trucks in the background parked.
Yeah. I thought that was a pretty cool cliffhanger, or it was a pretty cool gotcha moment, or not, yeah, pretty much for the end of the film. Yeah, I agree. It was a pretty freaky image.
Yeah, because I think our imagination, with all the things that's unexplained, missing people, or all the tales from Mexico or America or anywhere else, it could all be tied in, or your imagination starts wandering. And then the one thing with Blade, it just made me think of adrenochrome, where all these private parties with the elite that get, again, with people that disappear, and Hollywood. So just, all these movies always make me wonder what else is going on over there. Well, I'd rather play it safe.
Yeah,
stay home like an eye fool, you know.
Well, in some movies, I'd even go as far as to say that some movies put that shit, they put it in the movies, like, and it's enough for people for it to go over their heads. You know, for the most part, like sometimes of course not, but there are some occasions where you're like, yo, they put that in the fucking movie. That's wild. Why would they do that? And then like most people are just like, yeah, it was in the movie. But once in a while, I'll catch myself like, dude, why? Like that's pretty fucking weird or pretty. Yeah, there's definitely deeper intentions or some shit when they put it in the movies. Like, I mean, how do you explain all the Simpsons predictions? Like a lot of them are pretty freaky, you know. And occasionally some can be fake. Once in a while, they over exaggerate one of them, two of them. But I mean, predicting, you know, who fucking Orange guy, you know, predicting that is crazy. Like that's bonkers, dude. And the way they predicted it was insane. So I do believe, you know, there's a thing called predictive programming where they put it in the movies, you know. And my biggest example is iRobot. So with iRobot, the year in that movie is 2035. We're not far away from that at all. We're 2023, going on 2024. So they're already rolling out AI shit. If you go on YouTube, there's like this fucking robot with emotion, like Sophie or some shit. And the creator itself is freaked out over its own creation. And the creator is like, dude, like I did not expect it to go that far. So you have the creator freaked out over it. And that's my biggest example with the predictive programming, because I'm like, how else do you explain, you know, AIs in 2023 that are functioning well, and then iRobot is literally that, but it's like to a bigger degree. So in 2035, I can definitely see that type of shit, you know. And that's just an example. That's my favorite example I could think of, you know.
I agree, and that's why I tell all these iFools to stop falling in love with their Alexa sex robot, you know. But thanks for taking my call. And
real quick before I get off of that, there's a new fucking movie coming out this year with Denzel's son called The Creator, and it's about humans versus AI. So literally, like, you got a Hollywood movie coming out in a few months about an AI battle between humankind. So, dude, like the fact that they're putting shit out like this, and then you have like some controversy with how they're doing the AIs nowadays, where like generating, people can write up like, hey, ChatGPT, write me a fucking court order, or write me like a response for like something, you know, and it'll do it. So like I do believe it's the future now in a strange way, and it feels weird, but we are in it.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for taking the call. Right.
Yes, sir.
You good, brother? Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
That was some heavy shit. They're cutting us off.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. My vampire voice. Remember? No God. Okay, caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Julie Rose from Highland Park.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, I was thinking about the vampire movies and about Let Me In. I don't know if you guys heard about that one.
Yeah, is that the one with the girl from Kick-Ass, Chloe Moretz? I think she.
Yes, exactly, Chloe Moretz or something like that.
Yeah. And check this out. So, Let Me In is actually a remake of a film called Let the Right One In, or something like that. And I remember.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, and I like Let Me In. That was a rare occasion where I felt both of the films I actually enjoy. I do like the original and the Let Me In one, because I believe Richard Jenkins, I think, is the dad, or the older dude, but it has a good cast, good acting. I like Let Me In.
And also Interview with the Vampire. I don't know if you guys mentioned that one already or not.
I think we feel the same way a little bit about it. I'm not the biggest fan about the movie. There's things I appreciate about it, but like there's things that make me feel icky about it as well. Like to me, as much as I'm a big fan of Brad Pitt, my biggest nitpick or biggest problem with Interview with the Vampire is when he kisses Kirsten Dunst. Man, Kirsten Dunst was like 12 or 11 in the movie, and he's like 26. So that scene gives me the creeps. But if they took that scene out, I feel like I would love the movie a little bit more. But that's just my personal sensitivity and all that shit, you know. But that's just me.
Of course, definitely. But yes. Good.
I can understand why people love that film, and I can understand why. Like even my girlie, she loves Interview with the Vampire. So, yeah, I can see why.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Now, if you had a podcast, would you interview a vampire? Here we go.
Shit, I don't know because I wouldn't be able to. I don't know if I could trust that motherfucker.
Exactly. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
What up, Tony? It's Luciano from Phoenix, Arizona.
What's up, my brother from Phoenix, Arizona? As a matter of fact, let me say this. I'm going to be in Arizona on Saturday the 29th in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Perfect. That's where I live.
Dope. So I'll be posting up the flyers soon. So go ahead, my brother. You got a question?
Yeah. How do you guys feel about the movie Bones and all?
What does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one with the Timothy Chalamet guy and the fucking Taylor Russell chick, I think. I didn't see it, but the director, he did Suspiria. He did the Suspiria remake, and then which I actually liked, and then he did it. The director's known for doing like hard R-rated, like more graphic, hardcore kind of movies in a sense, you know. But I didn't check. Was it good? I didn't check that one out because that just came out like.
Yeah, I recommend you should see it.
Yeah, it just came out like this year.
When I saw it, like, actually, there's a certain scene in which all the like old people just walked out in the beginning. Like the beginning scene, all the old people just walked out because of what was going on.
Yeah, the director's known for that though. Like the director tries to push like graphic imagery and like deaths and like blood and gore, like just weird sex and blood gore combinations. Like he's known for that type of shit.
Oh, it was rough, but it was a fun story too.
Because I think it's like the two of them fall in love or some shit. Like I think it's I gotta check it out.
Yeah, it was different. I recommend it.
All good. Anything else?
All right, see you later, guys.
Oh, thank you.
See you later, brother.
Okay, we're gonna take about 2 more phone calls and then we should be done. So, if you want to call in and just say hello, you want to call in and admit you're a vampire, call in. We'd like to interview you. So, here we go. Yeah. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Chris from Arizona.
Chris from
Can you
Arizona?
hear me better now? Yeah.
Okay, I can hear you better now.
Okay, have you guys seen the new movie, The Invitation?
No, I've heard about it. I believe I did.
Yeah, and it's a vampire movie. I just wanted to bring that one up and see if you guys had seen that one.
No, I haven't checked it out.
Is it in the theaters or is it something we can watch on a Netflix platform or something?
No, yeah, you can check it out on Netflix. I mean, I downloaded it, but I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. And also, do you guys think they should make another Leprechaun movie? You know, with the original guy that played the Leprechaun? Because I would want to see another one of those.
Well, check this out. So there was a Leprechaun movie that came out about 2 or 3 years ago, and they got a completely different guy. And I know the original guy, Warwick Davis, he felt the way about it. That they got a new guy to recast him and shit because it was out of his control or something like that. And I remember watching it and it wasn't too great. So I don't know. Warwick's getting older too. Warwick is also, sadly, when shorter folks like around his height and stuff like or his condition, as they get older, it's actually pretty rare for them to kind of live as they get a little bit older. So I think he's actually one of the rare cases of that or something. I could be wrong, but I don't know how long Warwick has to play Leprechaun again. And if he does, I would want it to be on a bigger scale because the last Leprechaun films, I think the only theater one was like the first 2 or so. Yeah. And then I think when it hit like 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and then In the Hood with Ice-T and stuff, that was all straight to DVD. Yeah. It was all straight to DVD, I believe. So if you're gonna get Warwick Davis back, just make it a big movie, make it a bigger scale, get a nice budget behind it, and I would want practical effects. I don't want any CGI blood and gore. Make it R-rated, make it pretty, make it goofy like how he's a goofy guy. So make it goofy, but give us a nice balance of horror and blood and guts,
Yeah, because he played that. He's like the best one to ever play that out of all the ones that they had on there, like whatever other guys they had.
Of course.
And also, just for you. No, go ahead.
Warwick played him. The only time he didn't get to play him was the recent one that came out a few years ago, like 2-3 years ago. He played him from number 1 to like number 6 or number 5. He played him all the way, except that's why he felt the way, because I think he wasn't invited to play him again in this new one. So yeah.
And also, just for you and
And for Tony, what are your favorite, your top 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies? Mine is Predator, Terminator, and Commando.
Mine is close. This is not in order, but just my top 3. And I'm even going to say 4. Okay. Predator 1.
Predator, yeah.
Okay. I love True Lies.
True Lies is sick. Yeah, that'd probably be my 4.
Okay. And what was the other one you mentioned other than Commando? Terminator. Terminator 1.
Terminator, yeah.
Terminator 1. And this is my 4th one because I watch it every Christmas. Jingle All the Way, to me, is a classic Christmas movie.
People hate that fucking movie, and I love Jingle All the Way, man. Like, it's a goofy pleasure. Like, I have a great time with that one. Yeah,
top 3.
People despise that one. Damn. So for me, I feel like it's a cop-out answer now, but Predator for sure. Like, Predator is like awesome. Like, in a strange way, you ever feel like you watch like a dope-ass movie and you're like, I feel like this shouldn't have been made, but I'm so happy it was made. Like, you're like, damn, this exists. Yeah. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger leads a fucking R-rated, like, borderline horror army, like, guerrilla fucking, grimy ass jungle movie. This is sick. Like I just felt like, he's in a cool element in that one.
With Apollo Creed.
Yeah, and Carl Weathers, Bill Duke, fucking awesome cast, dude. Yeah, and Jesse Ventura did a pretty good job. Now he's a cool, kick-ass character too. Like, everybody kicked ass in that movie.
Hey, even though it didn't involve him, but Daniel Glover and Predator 2 lived up to the hype.
Dude, I think it's supremely underrated. I think Danny Glover's the fucking man, and I think like he kicked ass in Predator 2. I mean, he actually survives Predator 2. Yeah. That surprised me as a kid. I was like, dude, Danny Glover lives in Predator 2. It was like,
the black guy lives.
Kicked ass, yeah.
It's true. That's just because they get killed off at the very beginning.
Yeah, and I just listed. Somebody just told that to me. They're like, every black guy dies, and I can only list like 9 or 10 movies where the black guy lives out of the million horror movies that ever existed. I can only name like 9 or 10. Yeah.
And since you guys brought up Beetlejuice 2, I didn't even know. I just seen it right now while you guys were on talking on live that Jenna Ortega is gonna be in that movie too. And she's been blowing up in a lot of stuff. Like, she was in Scream 6, and also are you guys excited for Scream 7 coming out, or what do you guys think about that?
Scream 7?
Me personally, I'm half and half on Scream because I did like Scream 6, but I did not like 5. And the only reason I didn't like 5,
yeah, me neither.
I felt like without spoil. I mean, for anybody who's watching, it's a spoiler right now if you have interest in seeing 5. But I'm gonna go just a tiny little rant. The way they killed my favorite character, Dewey, in the whole franchise was foul. I thought it was so undeserving. I thought it was whack how they treated his character. He's like a bum in a trailer. He's divorced. He's a loser. I was like, geez Louise, guys. Like, Dewey's a kick-ass character. He's a goofy but kick-ass. Like, you guys resorted him so low. And then for him to die so quick and so whack, like, literally, like, I always felt like I had a little video essay where I was like, dude, if Dewey... I would have appreciated, like, if you're going to kill him at the end. Have, like, redeem him. Like, if he's a loser, give him a better ending where, like, he's able to win everything back, and then you could kill him. It's like, okay, at least he got everything back,
Don't kick a man while he's down.
That's what they did with him. That's what they just kicked the fuck out of him down. I was like, damn. Like, he didn't get the... I always said, like...
No, I'm sorry to cut you off. I was gonna say, and I did realize that at some point they have to kill like some of the main characters off. And even though nobody really wanted to see him go, that was a pretty good kill though, right? When they had the double knife.
But the thing that messed me up though, bro, is like, dude, Dewey dies that way. But if you rewatch Scream 6, people are getting stabbed 100 times and they're living. They're living through the stabbings, bro. Like, Chad should not have lived when 2 ghost faces side by side were stabbing him 40 fucking times.
Like 30 times,
And Dewey dies. I'm like, dude, like, you could have gave Dewey such a... I do appreciate the double knife kill, but it's like, if you did that near the ending, or if you had gave him that redemption, I would have enjoyed that kill more. But it still feels useless to me, because I'm just like, he's like, I got to go back and shoot him in the head. And then he's like, Then he looks at the fucking phone. I'm like, no, dude, come on, man. Like I thought the writers did a whack. I thought they did a whack job with that. But the reason why I'm so emotional over it is because Dewey's my personal favorite character in the whole Scream franchise. Like David, I'm a big fan of David Arquette, so it hurt to see him come back for 5 minutes and get killed.
Is it safe to say that part 6 is worth watching? I didn't watch it. I heard people said it was trash. Some people said it was dope. I didn't hear anything in the middle.
My brain's weird because as someone who wasn't a fan of 5, I did like 6 more.
Okay.
I did like 6 more. I like 6 more.
Me too.
I thought the kills were more fun. The kills were more brutal. They were a little more bloodier, more mean, which I appreciated. I'm a gorehound, so I like that. And despite me having problems with the fake New York setting, and it's really filmed in Canada, because I can notice I'm a New York, like I'm a LA guy, but I've also been in New York a lot, so I could see when set pieces are fake, and I could see that in Scream 6, but it still felt bigger.
And I wouldn't mind.
It still felt bigger. Scream 6 felt bigger.
If they bring Sydney back for Scream 7, that they kill her off, and just go with Sam and Jenna Ortega as the next character,
I would be mad, bro. I would be pissed.
Yeah.
Because Sydney's my baby mama. Nev Campbell's my baby. Nev Campbell's my baby mama. Like, I'm dead serious, bro. Dead serious. Like, she's my first. She was my first crush as a kid. I'm not joking. So if they killed my girl Nev like that, you got to make that shit dope. Like, it has to make sense. Like, if they killed her if they killed her like a Dewey way, I would literally break down and fucking throw tomatoes at the screen, bro. I would. But that's just me, though. My connection.
All good, my brother. Thank you, man.
Salute, brother.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
All right.
Okay, we're going to take one more phone call. Who's going to be the last phone call? We missed about 4 or 5, so we're going to take one more phone call, and then we're going to go ahead and end it. So make sure you guys call in and share your favorite vampire movie. Okay, so let's keep it pushing right here. Here we go. Call it your name, and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, caller, your name.
Hello.
And where are you calling from?
I'm the traveler, Vista, California.
Okay, cool. You got a question?
Hello.
Yeah, I was just calling to see if you guys didn't mention Tales from the Crypt or Devil of Blood.
Oh, I love Tales from... Oh, Bordello of Blood. I have some fun with that one. That's what's his name? Dennis... Is it Dennis... What the fuck is his name? I'm blanking out on his name. The main guy, he plays like a great... He plays an asshole very well. Like in the movie, and Bordello of Blood, he's an asshole. But it's fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I have fun with that one.
And how about Remember Once Bitten?
Oh, shit.
Jim Carrey. Yeah. I'll match you one. Vampire's Kiss with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible.
Nicolas Cage.
It's terrible, but it's so fun to laugh at.
Oh, good.
So fun to laugh at.
Anything Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. I love Nicolas Cage, though.
All good, caller. Anything else you want to add to that?
That's it.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. The last caller. Have a blessed Friday or a Freaky Friday. Okay, Afro, I need to ask you. You've seen it. I believe you gave a reaction. I didn't watch it because I wanted to ask you here. Your reaction on Renfield.
Yeah.
Okay, give us your reaction on Renfield.
So, with me, I just wanted to see Nicolas Cage play Dracula, and mainly because Nicolas Cage's Dracula was one of his passion roles ever.
Oh, really?
If there were 3 roles that Nicolas Cage ever wanted to play, it was Batman, Superman, and Dracula.
Wow.
So that was really cool for Nicolas Cage to be able to really... That's why I thought Cage did a great job in it, because you can see how much fun that he was having. Okay. Now, I did have a good time with the movie, but I did feel like I wanted more Nicolas Cage as Dracula. I wanted more of that, and I did like the Renfield guy. I like Nicholas Hoult playing like the helper, like getting Dracula the victims, or the like he's a tortured soul and he's forced to be like Dracula's servant and get him his shit. So I appreciated that, but I'm not a fan of Awkwafina. I don't like Awkwafina as an actress, the Asian chick. I'm not a fan of her as an actress or a rapper. I just don't like her at all. So I thought she was the weakest part of the movie. But other than that, I actually had a pretty fun time with them. I had a fun time with Renfield.
Okay. Now, because to me, I have to ask you, because it looked comedy to me. Is it comedy?
Yes. It's surprisingly, with the thing, I thought it was going to be pure comedy.
Okay.
But it's like a good 50-60% comedy and a good 40% horror. So there are horror elements where I felt, oh, Nicolas Cage is really over the top and goofy like we expect, but there were other moments where I felt, whoa, he's actually going into that horror Dracula route where he's trying to be creepy and he's trying, and it works. You're like, okay, Nicolas Cage when he's over the top, that's Cage. But yeah, I thought it was a nice balance playing Dracula. He found like different routes in there.
Dope, man. I really enjoyed tonight. How did you enjoy yourself tonight, man?
Oh, I loved it, bro. I got drunk and I might have been a little quieter than usual, but it was probably the drink.
No, you weren't quiet at all. You actually were good. Dope. Really good. Thank you.
Dope. Thank you, brother.
You know, look, if we ever get back together again, which I know it won't be your last time, you know what I would like to cover? Like, I don't know how to call it. Demonic movies or devil movies.
Okay, possession films.
Like, let me give you an example. No, something that has to do specifically with the devil.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Remember that movie, Angel Heart? Did you ever see the movie?
Yeah, with De Niro and Lisa Bonet.
He played the devil.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then you had, if you will,
Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate.
With Pacino.
Yes. Yeah. Then, what's that one movie? The one with Johnny Depp, the book.
The Ninth Gate?
The Ninth Gate.
Ninth Gate.
It had to do with going through the gate, finding the devil pages, maybe something along those lines, or maybe even, haunted story movies.
Nice. One story I'd love to cover is the fucking Poltergeist story with Heather O'Rourke.
Okay, stuff like that.
It's a very creepy story, and like how she was done was pretty grimy, and when you look into it, it's a pretty creepy story. So I'd love to touch on that sometime. Yeah,
that'll work. Okay. Other than that, any super chats at all or no? Okay, we got some.
Isn't there like a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
End of Days.
End of Days is a good movie.
I know there's a guy I'm pretty cool with. He's a battle rapper named Lush One, and I just recently found out his father directed End of Days. His father.
I like that movie.
His father. I do too. Yeah.
I like that movie.
End of Days is I have a good time with.
Go ahead, Alex.
Tales of the Central Coast dropped $4.99. And then Tales of the Central Coast dropped another $1.99. They said, bring Spice back.
Okay. Spice ran away and joined the circus. So thank you.
Okay. Victoria Flores dropped $1.99. She said, can you bring Spice back? I'm losing interest.
Okay. Sorry about that. Spice ran away and joined the circus. Thank you.
Okay. Lazy 408 dropped $5. They said, you guys think Vlad the Impaler was a myth or a legend?
The who?
Vlad the Impaler. Yeah, that was, I believe that's the origin of Dracula. Or that's, because Vlad the Impaler was in Transylvania, I believe, or he was around Romania. And I do believe maybe not exactly Vlad the Impaler, or like him specifically, but I do believe maybe there was a guy around that time doing that type of shit. So I'd probably lean on the legend side,
Okay. The movie that I was talking about really quick was Snow White and the Seven Huntsmen.
Okay.
Here it is right here. I can't open it. See, it's with Homegirl.
Yeah, Charlize Theron, yeah.
Check that one out.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, so finally found it. I had two guys over here that couldn't find it.
One of my guys is actually the dwarves in that movie. I think Nick Frost is one of the dwarves in there.
Oh, okay. Okay, go for it, Alex.
Okay, last one. Love Them Killers dropped $5. They said, I thought the Queen of the Dam with Aaliyah was good. What did you guys think?
You know what? I didn't see that one, bro.
Me personally, I wasn't a big fan, but I do feel like I should give that a rewatch at the same time.
I'll watch it.
It's been years since I saw it, to be fair. But I just remember, as much as I loved her, I remember not really loving the movie. I remember loving her, and I thought it was a cool. I thought it was a cool choice that she did that. But yeah, the movie I thought was kind of cool. It was kind of. Actually, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
All good. Other than that, are we good, Alex? Or okay. Once again, Afro, any shout outs, anything you want to say, anything you want to really mention?
Thank you for having me, bro. Anybody tuning in that loves hearing me talk my head off about nerdy shit, my channel is Fro Thizzle Reviews, THIZZLE, and stay tuned to Freaky Tales podcast.
Absolutely. So once again, thank you, Afro. Thank you for sneaking in the movies with me.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Yes, and I also want to give a shout out to my team, Alex Cervantes Enterprise. I want to give a shout out to Norbert, News of Norbies, to my son B. Scanless, also to the Hip Hop Jedi, also to our moderators, Magic Girl. Thank you for being a part of our team, and also to your boy Casper.
Yes, sir. What up? It's Cash. Check out his channel too. That's my brother right there.
All good. So I want to once again thank everybody in the live chat, everybody who liked, commented, subscribed, unliked, everybody who shared, everybody who called in, everybody who gave. Much love, much respect. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So until next time, expect the unexpected, and we'll see you here in the balcony.